Guys, I wanted to get to something else with the Guardians because it's very rare that I'm critical of Terry Francona. But there's two things this weekend that I didn't like. I thought he made some big mistakes, okay? Let's go to Friday night's game. And if I get my internet to work, we'll see. But
we're having internet issues back here, so it's not just you.
We are?
Tag board's down completely.
So on Friday night, guys.
Left Civale in.
He left Civale in too long. First of all, I would have. What was it? It was the 6th inning, right, that he took him out?
Yeah.
That's when they blew the lead. So it was 3-0 going to the 5th. He gives up 2 runs in the 5th to make it 3-2. Now, he's already at 80-something pitches. I know he had pitched great his first start, but he clearly was kind of losing it in the 5th. It's 3-2. You're coming off an off day, so everybody's available in the pen. I thought he was clearly going to be out to start the 6th, but he wasn't. And he actually struck out the first batter in the 6th. Then he gives up a double to Kelenic, who looked good in this series. This guy's been a top prospect, hasn't really put it together.
He's very good.
But so Kelenic hits the double, and at that point I'm like, well, now he's got to take him out.
Yeah.
It's 3-2. You got to take him out. Of course he doesn't. They blow the lead, and then whoever came in. Who came in? I forgot. Whoever came in was Sandlin. I don't remember. Whoever came in ended up giving up a home run. You know, and maybe he would have given up a home run anyway. But Mike, see if you can look up who came in. I can't
Friday,
remember.
Yeah, I'm on it right now.
I think it was
Sandlin.
I think it was Sandlin. And here's the thing, though. Here's what really bothered me about this. A, I thought Francona should have taken him out of the 5. B, at the very least, take him out of the double because now you bring in Sandlin in a tie game, and the first batter he's got to face is Rodriguez, who hits the home run.
Yeah.
When I bring in a reliever, especially
and Sandlin isn't even one of their top 3 options.
Right. When I'm bringing in a middle reliever guy,
It was Sandlin, by the way.
What's that?
It was Sandlin.
Okay. I don't want his first batter that he has to face in a big spot to be the best player on the other team if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't, but they could have. At the very least, he should have taken. He was over 90 pitches by the time once Kelenic hits that double. I didn't see why you stuck with him. It's early in the year. I don't know. What did you guys?
No, Zach and I actually had that exact conversation in the press box and kind of came to the same conclusion you did. That we were a little bit surprised that Civale was still in there. I think Tito said after the game he earned the right to try and get through that and get out of it. But I think he meant just by how well he had pitched to start the year in his previous start and then in this start. Tito's always going to – he is a player's manager, and he's always going to – we've seen it with Rosario. He's always going to side with his players and give them the opportunity to try and work out of things. But I tend to agree with you. I was a little bit surprised that he was still in there.
See what he do? He does. So he does this like it's like being a manager at a working with people. If you got people on your roster that you have hired, you've brung in, you've trained them, they've been there a year, gave them a raise, or you give them a little bit of leeway and leash, right? But sometimes that come back to backfire on you, bro. Like. At some point, he wants to have a whole big body of work that he can point to and say, I can't play you no more, right? He wants to have data, like, you messed up this time, and we got to move on. Like, but from game to game, he's not really counting it like that. He's not even accounting for it. He just knows this dude is a veteran. I'm going to play him. I've chosen him for the roster. Right. Let's keep it moving.
And Francona is always thinking 3 steps ahead. I get it. He's thinking about the next start and long-term confidence. I get it. I'm not killing him. I just didn't like that. Now, this one to me is even worse. And I've been talking about this for a year. On Saturday, the Guardians were down 3-0 in that game. They make it 3-2. They have, I think it was the 7th. Mike, double check for me again because my internet's not working. The Guardians have the bases loaded, 2 outs. I think it was the 7th. Gabe Spire on the mound. Now, he's a young pitcher, hasn't pitched that much. He's a lefty. Gabriel Arias is available on the bench. Josh Naylor is up. 3-2 game, bases loaded, 2 outs. Correct me if I'm wrong about that in the 7th inning.
You're right.
I'm right. And he lets Josh Naylor hit. Now, Jason, I think we talked about this before the season. Listen, Josh Naylor's been in the big leagues for 5 years. He has almost 300 plate appearances against lefties. He cannot hit lefties, period. He can't. His OPS against lefties in his career is .540. That's Austin. He is Austin Hedges against lefties. That's how bad he is. He hasn't gotten a single hit against lefties this year. He has 13 extra base hits. in 280 some odd plate appearances against lefties in his career. He can't do it. And then you pinch hit Arias in the eighth when there's nobody on. Like, why would you not bring I wouldn't even have started Naylor again. To me, if I'm Francona, he doesn't play against lefties anymore. I'm done.
Well,
but why would you not pinch hit for him there in the seventh?
Because it's April, and I think they want to be sure that you're right. Because last year, I mean, he had the massive, nasty ankle injury.
Yeah.
In what, like May, wasn't it that he got hurt?
Yep.
Last year was really his first full year as an everyday big leaguer. I'm not ready to say he can't hit lefties. He hasn't to this point, no question.
Yeah.
But he's still only, 25, 26? Like, he's still a young guy. And it's April. Like, if it's September and games on the line and they got to have it, maybe he does pinch hit him if he has a full season like this. I just think that they want to give him – he was in there against Marco Gonzalez, start him against another lefty.
Right.
I think they want to give him –
Well, that was the same game.
Right.
That's
but I'm saying, like, you could have sat him and put Arias in the game. You could have started Arias as a righty against the lefty, but they started him against a lefty and Gonzalez.
Why? Like,
because
why?
I think they want to give him opportunities to see if he can hit lefties or not.
But
because they have to make a long-term decision on him as well.
But don't you think I think we already know he can't hit lefties.
I disagree.
I think it's enough plate appearances that we know. We're pretty sure.
I mean, I don't know. Because, again, he's had one full year in the majors. So I'm not ready to declare a guy can or can't do anything based on one full season.
It's 280 plate appearances. That's a lot against lefties.
I think the Guardians do this. The Guardians, the way they look at their team, they say, look, we're not paying nobody no crazy money. We on prospects. So they slow play everything because if you make a bad decision in paying somebody, you're over. If you don't pay somebody and go somewhere else, you're over. So they like, listen, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get everybody an ample opportunity to show you can't play guaranteed, and then we can have an informed decision.
Yeah.
But I think because there's nothing coming behind them. Like, so you look at all the players that we just talked about you got to make a decision on. He's 25, but he's one of your main power sources. So you need to figure out, can he bat? Is Oscar Gonzalez a full-time player? He hasn't shown it yet. Quan ain't got a contract or a deal. You don't know what you're doing with Rosario. And you got Bo Naylor, who, is he going to play? Is he going to come back? They got all these decisions to make, but they don't got no at-bats for everyody. Like, they need to figure out.
Quan, you don't have to worry about
Quan,
it.
he's still under control for 5 years,
Yeah.
whether you sign him to a deal or not. Personal opinion, not sourced or anything.
Yeah.
I think that they will probably give Josh April, May, June, and July against lefties, give him a healthy amount of at-bats against lefties. If he still is struggling as badly as he has, they probably go make a move for a Jordan Luplow type at the deadline. At the trade deadline. You have to give these guys an ample amount of time. And then maybe Arias does start to chew into those.
To me, they said
that's the whole reason Arias
is a top prospect. It's not like he's a nothing prospect. Obviously, he's a big prospect. They said they want to get him at bats. To me, it makes perfect sense to get him at bats against lefties.
And I think against tough lefties, Arias will be in there.
Yeah.
Marco Gonzalez, to me, isn't a top lefty, so you give Naylor the opportunity.
Think about that. So now you look at Naylor, 280 plate appearances against lefties, and he's probably sitting against the toughest lefties. Mm-hmm. More, especially in the last year. Mm-hmm. And so even with that, even though he's only facing secondary lefties, his numbers are still. It's not just bad; it's horrific against lefties.
I agree with you, and I think I will get to the point where I totally agree with you. But I
want to give him another few months.
Yeah, I think we need to see, is he an everyday player or is he a strong side platoon? And that will really dictate what his future is here and what the contracts look like. And they have to figure that out. They have to know, because if he can't hit lefties, maybe George Valera can. Maybe that's how they fit Valera into the lineup. Maybe they move on from Naylor and Valera is the everyday free. I'm just throwing something out.
Yeah, sure.
Or Gonzalez is the first baseman and Valera's in the outfield. But you need to know, is Josh Naylor an everyday player that is adequate against lefties, or is he a platoon guy? And I don't think that they're ready to declare that.
Yeah, and the problem with Naylor too is he's a one-dimensional player.
He is. Yes.
Especially if he can't hit lefties. He's got power against right-hand pitching. He's not good in the field. His base running is nothing. He has no speed. So I mean, I like Naylor. He brings energy. And against righties, he's solid.
He mauls righties.
He's good.
Yeah.
But there's only so much I'm willing to pay a guy like that who's as limited as he is.
And that's what they're trying to get to. That's what they're trying to figure out.
All right. Anyway, they do salvage the final game. Start a 3-game series with the Yankees tonight.
Big series.
Shane Bieber on the hill. tonight. Garrett Cole pitches tomorrow. That would have been cool if they would have faced each other.
Yeah,
but-
I know. I know we're gonna move on here in a second. I hate the schedule. Like, they're done with the Mariners.
Yeah.
It's April and they're done.
Yeah.
And I mean, good thing they won that game yesterday because now they would hold the tiebreaker.
Yes.
If it comes down to it in terms of postseason seeding, whatever.
Right.
But I just hate the fact. I would love to see the Yankees here twice. I would like to see the Mariners. I hate interleague. I wish they would abolish interleague play. I think
Well,
it's
they went the
dumb.
opposite way. There's more in
I know.
now.
I think it's dumb. I wish that they would. I'd rather see 2 series with the Yankees than get the friggin' Reds in here. Who cares about the Reds?
Well, but now you get to see the Mets one time, or you get to see the Dodgers.
I don't
one
like
time.
it. I'd rather get
I
the
like
Yankees and the
interleague.
Red Sox.
I like interleague.
You down in interleague?
Yeah, you know me.
I think the Guardians would rather get 2 series with the Yankees.
Well,
get
they
the
play-
gates. Get
yeah,
the gates
yeah.
of-
Well, that's true.